So of course, for today, we're going to discuss the SPSS. Um, but of course, before we're going to discuss GSS class, right? SPSS class. You have your statistics, psychological statistics, and at the same time, you have your SPSS class. So we're not gonna bombard you with a lot of concepts that pertains to your class way back before, but we're just going to have a crash course regarding statistics, and at the same time, how we're going to apply that using SPSS. Now, ano yun? Yung sa blue na box. Yep. Okay. Yeah. So, guys, it's very important that as we have our transition from one psychological statistics to another psychological stats, as much as possible, you have no question. Okay. Or if you have queries about it, please kindly ask before we proceed to another statistic so that we're going to be clear. Okay. And at the same time, we really want you to understand it because you're going to use statistics and SPSS in terms of your field methods. You're also going to use statistics in your psychological assessment. And of course, you're going to use this or utilize this in your research one and research two. So if your foundation in statistics and SPSS is not that good, medyo madadala nyo siya hanggang fourth year. So we do not want that to happen. So as much as possible, we're going to discuss the essence of statistics. And then right after that, we're going to discuss the types of statistics, scales of measurements, very important as well. And of course, we're going to um, discuss, okay, the basics of SPSS. And then right after that, we're going to discuss how you're going to navigate um, SPSS, okay, while computing Titas independent, Titas dependent, Mann-Whitney, um, Wilcoxon's Heisenberg test, and one-way ANOVA. Okay, so we're just going to discuss five kasi baka naman ma-bombard tayo, okay, ng mga concepts and navigations. Ayan. So again, guys, if you have queries, please, you can navigate the chat box so that we can have a good discussion. Okay? Yeah. Okay, so I guess we're on. Um, okay, wait lang ah. Mhm. Si wait, sino yung ano, yung nagsasabing magre-record? Okay, let me see. Si Miss Alarcon, am I correct? Are you the one who's okay? Are you sure? Okay, kasi last time, di ba, hindi natin na-record ng maayos yung meeting natin. And I'm using two laptops at the same time. And I don't know kung paano siya mare-record here. Kasi pag dalawa yung ginamit kong laptop, sabay yung audio niya. So if there's someone who's recording it, okay, let it be. Again on my behalf, hindi na ako magre-record. Okay. Ayan. Guys, our discussion is very crucial because, right after we discuss chapters 1 to 9, we're going to have your long exam. And then right after that long exam, we're going to have your, tawag dito, your poster presentation. Okay? And, um, okay. Okay. So again, right now we're going to start the discussion. And if you have queries, just raise your hand or kindly, um, type your question in the chat box. Okay? Ayan. So, statistics. So again, statistics, the definition is, a statistic is an application or applied mathematics involving the collection, description, analysis, inference of conclusions from a quantitative data. Now, I know you're very familiar with statistics because statistics is integrated in high school and at the same junior high and senior high. Am I correct? And now, if we're going to look closely, um, mathematics is kind of, and what do you call this? Um, Trigger of anxiety or fear, and so on and so forth. But anxiety is much different because is an applied mathematics, which means you're able to witness the application of mathematics in daily situation, unlike geometry, unlike calculus or trigonometry. Okay, those are probably pure concepts, computations, and so on and so forth. But statistics is more beneficial because you tend to apply the process of collecting, describing analysis or inference of conclusions to daily situation. And if we're going to look as that statistics help us decide and at the same time guide us on how we're going to live properly. Di ba? Ganun yan. So let's say for example, di ba? Um, Weight and height. Those are statistics. Imagine if there's no concept of weight and height. How are we going to know for sure if we are healthy? How are we going to know for sure if we are in the right BMI or right track of our body if we do not know our height and weight? And height and weight is connected with what? Statistics. Your grades in school are also statistics. Okay, so in statistics, we able to gather information, okay, or involving the collection, and at the same time we can describe, analyze that, and then because of that, or right after that, we can have our inference or conclusion. Okay, let's say for example, um, in college or in university, di ba, your grade is 1.25, 1.5, 1.75, and so on and so forth. And those grade has what? Di ba? Meron siyang quantitative interpretation or quantitative data such as 1, 1.25, and at the same time, may qualitative interpretation din siya. Pag uno ang grade mo, ano ibig sabihin nun? Excellent ka. Pag 1.25 ang grade mo, anong ibig sabihin nun? You're very good. Pag 1.5, good, and then so on and so forth. Now, if you got a grade of 4 or 5, bagsak ka. Okay? Now, out of that, we can have an inference or conclusion. Di ba pag nakuha mong grade ay 5 or 4, ano ibig sabihin nun? Hindi ka natuto or hindi mo naintindihan or meron din teacher factor or maraming other extraneous variable na pwede natin i-consider. Okay? So, because of statistics, we can have an inference or conclusion from a particular event. Okay? That's how important statistics is. And also, it's very important to note that statistics is being incorporated in terms of quantitative research. So that's why if you are into a quantitative research, it's very imperative or inevitable na gagamit ka talaga ng statistics. Okay? Ayan. Now, in experimental psychology, since quantitative research and experimental psychology, okay, it's very pressing for us okay, to discuss statistics and at the same time to use a particular application so that we know how to judge at the end of the day. Okay? Ayan. Now, in statistics, we have two major classifications. What are they? Okay, number one, we have descriptive and we have inferential statistics. Now, when we talk about descriptive statistics, I know this is very easy. You are very familiar with this. Okay, from the word itself, descriptive, you're just going to describe data or data. Okay, by the way, guys, data or data, they are both correct. Okay, they are both correct, data or data. Okay, now in descriptive statistics, again, from the word itself, you're just going to describe a particular set of scores. You're just going to describe a particular phenomena. Okay? Let's say, for example, yung height and weight mo, descriptive stat ba yun? Yes. Yung grades mo, descriptive stat ba yun? Yes. Ano pa ba yung mga descriptive stat? Yung number ng enrollee ng first year, second year, third year, fourth year, descriptive stat ba yun? Yes. Yung GWA mo every semester, descriptive stat ba yun? Yes. You're just describing a particular event, a particular phenomenon. Okay? Yun. So, if we're going to have that kind of case, that has something to do with descriptive. Pag sinabi nating inferential statistic, from the word itself, you have conclusion, you have a judgment, or you have a particular decision. Okay, now when we talk about inferential statistics, this is the time that we're able to judge variables, okay, or have decision out of our variables. Di ba? Na-discuss na natin yan. Pwedeng there's no significant difference or, excuse me, or significant relationship. Okay? Now, if there's a judgment regarding there's no significant relationship or significant difference, then that is what? Inferential statistics. Because again, when you talk about there's no significant difference or significant relationship, ibig sabihin, gumagawa ka na ng conclusion. Hindi yon nagdi-describe. Gumagawa ka na ng, again, conclusion, gumagawa ka na ng decision. Can you follow? So that's the easiest way to explain the difference between descriptive statistics and inferential statistics. Okay? Ayan. And also, guys, it's very important, okay, to know that statistics can be communicated at different levels, ranging from non-numerical descriptor or nominal level to numerical in reference to a 0 point or ratio level. Later on, we're going to elaborate this, or we're going to discuss more about the scales of measurement, name the nominal, ordinal, interval, or ratio. Okay? And also, guys, under statistics, again, di ba nga, ang definition ng statistics natin, collection, description, and then so on and so forth. And then the last part is several sampling technique. Okay? Several sampling technique, it's part of the collection, okay, ng stats. Okay? I know you're familiar with probability and non-probability. Pag sinabi nating probability, again, lahat pwedeng maging part ng study, or lahat may equal chance na maging part of the study. Pero pag sinabi nating non-probability, we're just looking for a certain criteria, and then since you possess that certain criteria, then you are qualified to partake or be part of the study. Okay? Now, for the parametric sampling technique, we have simple random, systematic, okay, stratified, or probably we have the cluster. And when we talk about what do you call this? Non-parametric, of course, okay, you use this or utilize it in your experiment, diba? For POSIL. Okay? Yeah. So, next. Okay. Next slide is about the importance of statistics. Okay, so as we mentioned a while ago, statistics is more applied or applied mathematics. So it's very evident that we can, what do you call it, experience statistics in our daily lives or situation. Okay, now, what are the specific importance? Okay, so number one, statistics helps us in understanding the related research literature in these subjects. Almost all books and research journals describe the procedure for treatment and analysis of data with the help of statistical techniques. Okay, so again, it's very prominent in our discipline, especially in terms of contextualization of psychology into research. Okay, and as I mentioned a while ago, you're going to encounter field methods, which includes research, also research 1 and research 2. Pagdating nyo ng fourth year, may research din doon. Okay, so what does it mean? Pag na-encounter nyo yun, of course, there is a quantitative research, okay? And before you make or create your research, you really need to consult RRL or other research journal because before you make your research as much as possible, you have your basis or you have this particular reference that you can anchor your research, okay? Now, by studying statistics, you can comprehend the process, the conclusion, the analysis. Okay, if you are familiar with the statistics. Okay? Ayan. And alam nyo, di ba, lagi naman iyan yung pinapayo ng mga teachers nyo. Before you create a research, then you need to read the RRL. Okay? Now, statistics is incorporated in the methodology section of your journal article. Okay? Ayan. Number two, it forms the basis of scientific approach to problem solving. The students cannot carry out their researches without knowing the scientific method of approach to problem solving in their discipline. Okay, so again, when we talk about research, it's a scientific method. Okay, and in scientific method, of course, there is a process. Okay, it's a problem solving process. Now, before we solve the problem in our research question, it's very important that we are going to utilize statistics, especially if your research is quantitative. Diba? Pag experimental research tayo, anong ginagamit natin? Again, we look for the difference. Is there a significant difference or is there a significant effect? Okay? Then number three, it helps the psychologists, counselors, educationists, and guidance counselor to make an effective appraisal of student ability and interest in the studies for their placement in jobs. Diba? Again, ang statistic ginagamit din yan sa mga test. Okay? Now, ano ba yung purpose ng test? Yung test, natutulungan tayo niyan for placement. Okay? Or to know our forte or niche, or to know our interest or our personality, then so and so forth. Okay? As a result, okay, pwede siya maging basis in terms of our job placement. Qualified ka ba sa isang trabaho? Or saan ka mas magaling or mag-excel in terms of a particular job description? Okay? Ayan. Kaya mapapansin nyo guys, if you're going to take your job right after graduation, usually may mga test, may mga exam. From that, you are being what? Appraised. Okay? Ano ibig sabihin nun? Okay? You're just going to answer different questionnaires or probably different tests, and then from that, okay, there is a result, and usually the result is in quantitative form, and then from that quantitative form, you can be judged, okay, and then from that, you can have, let's say, this, what do you call this? Judgment or conclusion whether you'll be qualified or not, okay? Ayan. So, number four is it works as a basic tool of data analysis and provide information to educationists and educational planners about the trend of enrollment in various classes, literacy rate, dropout teacher, pupil ratio, number of students passing an examination, and then etc. etc. Okay, let's say for example guys, yung kagaya ng board exam nyo, di ba? Doon nagkakaroon tayo ng national passing rate, ilan yung pumasa, ilan yung bumagsak, and then so on and so forth. Now, that kind of data is already an statistics. And then from that, we can see ilan ba yung competent or ilan ba yung, let's say, qualified, okay, to be a psychometrician or psychologist. Okay? So, imagine, di ba? That's our measurement para malaman if a particular person is qualified to be a professional. Okay? So, doon natin siya makikita. Ganon din sa school natin, di ba? Lagi tayong gumagamit ng statistics. Let's say, for example, in your midterm exam, statistics yon. Diba? Mag-exam ka, and then right after that, check-checkan nyo, and then you have your result. Okay? Minsan ang result mo, dinidivide sa, let's say 1 to 100, then you're going to times 60, then plus 40. For us to know, ilan ba sa mga students ang pumasa, ilan sa mga students ang bumagsak. Okay? Out of that description and conclusion, yun ay what? Statistics. Okay? So imagine if you do not have a measurement or gauge or appraisal or stats, di ba? How are we going to know for sure kung sino yung mga students na nagbe-benefit sa instruction? Ilan naman yung mga students na hindi nagbe-benefit? It's so hard for us to predict. So with the aid of statistics, it helped us to decide and to describe sino yung mga estudyanteng okay, sino yung mga estudyanteng nakakasunod, at sino naman yung mga estudyanteng medyo hindi nakakasunod. Okay? Ayan. Another is it helps the teachers and school administrators rather to evaluate the strategies involved in teaching learning process. This information can be more objectively gained with the help of statistics to deal with examination score, test scores to understand the impact of evaluation. Ito medyo na-preempt ko na to. Okay, again, kagaya nga na sinabi ko, ito yung mga summative test nyo when you're in elementary or in college, ito naman yung inyong mga long quizzes. Okay? Kasama din dyan yung midterm exam, final exam, and then so on and so forth. And then from that, we can evaluate the students. Okay? And then number 6, statistics help us to draw general conclusions. Okay, kagaya na makikita natin sa mga research, okay, sa mga capstone project, okay, ayun, or mga action na research. Yan. I'm sure ginawa niyo na yan when you are in your senior high. Okay? Ayan. Another is, in the discipline of education and psychology, responses of the individuals are quantified, which can be translated to how a precise meaning. It helps us to describe, summarize, and interpret meaning of performance of different individuals in any task in a group. It helps us to study relationship between different characteristics or phenomenon or variables of the aggregate of people or population. Okay? Ayan. Now, this is very imperative because we tend to study human behavior and mental processes. We know for a fact that psychology is a scientific study, and our claims in psychology is not just merely opinion or what do you call this, introspection, or just merely hearsay. Okay, but when we talk about psychology, it's about scientific study. So since that's a scientific study, okay, we study scientifically the phenomenon that we need to describe or we need to be familiar with. Let's say, for example, abnormal psychology. Diba? Yung mga abnormal psychology or yung mga disorder natin, it is a byproduct of research. Okay? Ano pa? Yung mga correlation between anxiety, depression, or anxiety and stress, naging familiar tayo dyan because of statistics kasi ginamitan natin ng research. Okay? Ayan. Ano pa ba? Also, yung mga ano din, tawag dito, yung mga sa theories of personality natin, di ba? Yung Ocean or yung Leopi, if you're familiar with that. Okay, yung extroversion, yung neuroticism. Okay, I hope natakal nyo na yan sa theories of personality nyo, di ba? So, before you know tawag dito, personality, okay, or one way or another to find or to know your personality, you can use inventory. Okay? And then yung mga objective inventories na yun, of course, ginagamitan natin ng statistics. And then from that, we can draw a particular conclusion kung ano ba mas leaning yung personality mo. Okay? Are you more on extroversion, neuroticism, openness, and then so on and so forth. Okay? So again, it has something to do with numbers. Okay? Next, it enables us to summarize the results in a more meaningful and convenient form. Diba? That's one of the things na gustong-gusto ko sa statistics. Diba? Let's say, for example, paano natin malalaman ang population ng buong mundo? One or another, to know the population of the whole world, we can organize that through what? By country. Okay? Ilan ang population ng Philippines, ng South Korea, ng Japan, ng Guatemala, ng Italy, ng Japan, and then so on and so forth. Okay? Then from that, mas nalalaman na, ganito na pala karami ang nag-i-exist sa mundo. Or let's say, for example, the population in the Philippines, we can organize that or summarize that by region. And then from that, we can have our summary or summation. Okay? Next is, it permits the most exact kind of description. Okay, ayan. Number one example dito ay yung census. Are you familiar with the census? Yung census, ito yung um, pupunta sa bahay nyo, tapos may questionnaire sila, may tatanungin sila parang ilan kayo sa bahay, magkano ang income nyo, ilan ang nagtatrabaho sa inyo, ilan ang may sakit, ilan ang may mental health condition, dun so and so forth. So through that, nalalaman natin kung ilan yung age range ng population sa isang particular province. Okay? Sinong mas marami, lalaki ba o babae? Okay? Magkano ba yung income ng mga taga-province of Bataan? Mataas ba? Sa gitna ba o mababa? Marami bang indigent sa Bataan and so on and so forth. So from that, you can have the exact kind of description. So again, it has something to do with what? Statistics. Okay? And then next, it helps in understanding events or characteristic of human behavior occurred in past and present on variety of tasks in human life, but it also helps us in predicting the future performance of students in a course of success in a job. So in number 10, we're talking about the predictive validity. Ano ibig sabihin ng predictive validity? Predictive validity is that you're able to probably take an exam, and then from that, titingnan natin kung magiging um, successful ka ba in this particular line of job. Okay? Ayun. Paano ba? Kagaya ng NMAT. Alam niyo ba yung NMAT? Familiar kayo sa NMAT tsaka sa PhilSat. Ang NMAT, again, this is the entrance exam for medicine. PhilSat, ito naman yung entrance exam sa law. Okay? So, kumari, ang NMAT mo ay mataas. Ibig sabihin ba nun, um, uh, pag mataas ka sa NMAT, ang ibig sabihin nun, malaki yung chance in a way, again nga, predictive validity or future reference na magiging magaling kang doktor. So kung mataas ka sa PhilSat, then we can say na, may chance na maging, tawag dito, magaling na lawyer to sa future. So paano natin napipredict yun? Again, prediction lang to Yan. So again, it has something to do with what? Statistics. Okay? Ayan. Ano pa? Board exam nyo, di ba? Ganun din yung board exam for yung mga BLEP. Okay? Ayun. So parang ginegauge niya whether there's a chance na magiging magaling ka in this particular field. Okay? Ayan. Another is number 11. It forces us to be definite and exact in our thinking and procedure to be adopted in making the concepts clear. Okay? Ayan. So again, di ba, pag gumagamit tayo ng statistics, okay, we become, what do you call this, more definite and exact in our thinking. Kasi nga, we're using numbers. Okay? We're using numbers in conclusion or in accordance to which one is majority. Okay? Ayan. So, let's say for example, di ba, ano ba yung maganda example dito? Let's say for example, um, in terms of personality. Okay? Ayan. Okay, sige, sige. Wag pagdating sa personality because personality is kind of um, um, subjective. Okay? Let's say, for example, in having physiological disease, di ba? In terms of physiological disease, um, paano natin malalaman o masasabi na may physiological disease ka? Okay? Or let's say, for example, sa sugar, paano natin malalaman na may diabetes ka? Di ba ang ginagawa natin is that kukunin yung blood sugar mo. And then pag nakuha yung blood sugar mo, doon natin malalaman kung ano yung normal or ano yung borderline or ano yung abnormal. Okay? So because of statistics, malalaman natin na pag ganito yung blood sugar mo, ano ka, I forgot kung ano yung normal na blood sugar. Kumari, ang abnormal na blood sugar, kumari lang, I forgot the figure, 100 pataas. Okay? Tas ang normal na blood sugar is 99 pababa. Okay? So pag tinas ang blood sugar mo, tas ang nakuha mo is, let's say, 105, okay? Therefore, we can literally say na, mataas ang sugar mo. Okay? And then, pag consistent na ganun ang blood sugar mo, diabetes na yun. Diabetic ka na. Okay? Can you follow? That's the beauty of statistics. Paano natin malalaman na may sakit ka sa kidney or sa bato? Pag mataas ang creatinine mo. Paano mo nalalaman na mataas ang creatinine mo? Di ba itetest ang ihi mo, dun so and so forth. And then from that, pagkakaroon ka ng result. Di ba ang result, quantitative numbers. And then from that, nag-judge yung doctor na, mataas ang crea mo. So possibly, meron kang sakit sa bato. Okay? Ayun. And the number 10, however, even if one will never be a researcher himself or herself, he would like to have his acquaintance with certain topics because his profession desires him to apply research literature. He will be required to comprehend and evaluate detailed research literature, much of which is couched in statistical terms. So again, di ba, ang statistics naman or quantitative research, lahat ng discipline may ganun. Di ba? Education, may statistics yan. Social worker, may statistics yan. Nursing, may statistics yan. Ano pa ba? Mass communication, may statistics din yan. Psychology, may statistics din yan. So, when you are familiar with statistics, you become more integrative. Okay? Or mas naiintindihan mo yung different, what do you call this? Discipline because you know what is statistics. Because statistics, again, is applied to different facet of field or multi-discipline. Okay? Ayan. Now, it's very important, guys, from time to time na um, yung paligid natin ay puno ng statistics. Minsan kasi hindi natin siya na-recognize or na-embrace. But if we're going to look closely, statistics is inevitable part of our society. Can you follow, guys? Ayan. Sino sa inyo yung nagda-diet? Di ba tayo, after ng New Year, isa sa mga New Year resolution natin, ay, magda-diet na ako, di ba? Paano ka magda-diet? Una, yung kinukonsider mo, balanced diet. So, paano mo mamamonitor yung balanced diet mo? Sino sa inyo nag-grocery? Di ba pag nag-grocery kayo, tinitingnan nyo yung nutritional value sa likod. Ay, ilan yung sugar niyan, ilan yung carbohydrates niyan, ilan yung protein niyan, and then so on and so forth. That alone is statistics. Can you follow? Yung baon na binibigay sa inyo ng nanay nyo araw-araw, kung paano kayo gumagastos sa pamasahe or gumagala kayo or pangkain nyo, those are connected with statistics. Can you follow, guys? Ano pa? Yung score na nakukuha nyo sa mga quizzes, okay? Yung number ng absences nyo at number ng present nyo doon sa score nyo, that's already what? Statistics. Diba? Yung number ng reply or text messages ng jowa mo sa'yo or ng message mo sa jowa mo, that is something to do with statistics. Yung mga likes na nakukuha nyo sa social media, sa Facebook, sa Instagram, din so and so forth, and it's something to do with statistics. Okay? Kung anong oras ka natutulog, anong oras ka gumigising araw-araw, and it's something to do with statistics. Can you follow? So if we're going to notice, guys, we cannot get away with statistics because statistics is an integral part of our lifestyle. Can you follow? Okay. Ayan. Next. Now, for us to decide whether we're going to use different kind of statistical treatment of the data, it's very important to be familiar with statistical levels of measurement. We have four. Okay, guys, again, it's very important for you to familiarize yourself and at the same time to ingrain these concepts in your hippocampus. Okay, kasi kahit saan kayo pumunta or even in your board exam, you're gonna encounter this. Okay? So, what are the levels of measurement? Again, we have nominal, okay, level of measurement. We have ordinal level of measurement. We have interval level measurement or ratio level of measurement. Okay? Now, madali lang naman ito. Okay? It's very important for you to be familiar with this because this will be your hint, okay, or the key aspect for you to use whether ANOVA, MANOVA, ANCOVA, point by serial, Spearman, Pearson, McNemar, and so on and so forth. Ito yung mga pagbabatayan niyo. Okay? Kaya dapat alam niyo to kasi basic lang to. Okay, and I'm sure tinuro na to during your psychological stat. So let's have a short recap. Number one is nominal. Pag sinabi nating nominal, ano siya? Okay, measurements are instead simply labels or categories assigned to other variables. So ibig sabihin, pag sinabi nating nominal, categorical sila. Or you're just simply putting labels or names or nomenclature assigned to a particular variable. Okay? Let's say, for example, types of religion. Ano-ano ba yung mga types of religion? Catholic, Protestant, Iglesia ni Cristo, Mormons, then so on and so forth. So pag ganun ang variable niya sa research, then ano yon? Nominal po iyon. Another, yung LGBTQA+, di ba? Example yun ng nominal, di ba? May lesbian, may gay, may bisexual, and then so on and so forth. So since that is a categorical, then that is what? Nominal po yun. So if that is the thing that you are studying or variable that you are studying, then that is a nominal level of measurement. Okay? Another is ordinal level of measurement. Okay? So it is something to do with what? Pag sinabi nating ordinal, ano siya? Rank or arranged in order. So outcomes can be arranged in a order, but all data values have the same value or weight. Okay, what does it mean? Um, di ba dati nung elementary tayo, hindi ko alam kung inabutan nyo to kasi during that time, nung elementary kami, hanggang high school, may top 1, top 2, top 3, top 4, top 5, and then so on and so forth. And they possess an equal interval. So kung ano yung interval ni 1 and 2, same siya ni 2 and 3. Kung ano yung interval ng 2 to 5, ganun din yung interval ng 6 to 8. Okay? But the thing here is that they have a hierarchy. Okay? So it depends upon the context. Sa school natin, mas mataas si 1 kaysa kay 2. Mas mataas si 2 sa 3. Mas mataas si 3 kay 4. Okay? Depende. But the thing is, when we talk about ordinal, it is something to do with order or rank. Okay? Ayan. Siguro familiar naman kayo sa Olympics, di ba? Sa Olympics, usually tatlo lang ang nananalo. Yung makakuha ng gold or yung first place, silver, second place, or third place yung bronze. Okay? Ano-ano pa ba? Can you think of a variable na ordinal in nature? Okay? Can you what do you call this? Put that in the chat box, guys. Sample ng ordinal na data. Okay? Sige nga, tingnan nga natin kung nakikinig talaga kayo. Okay? So again, guys, kindly chat it in the chat box. Okay? And can you think of an ordinal level of measurement? Again, pag sinabi nating ordinal, it is simply defined as the order or the data values have the same value or weight but in a hierarchy. Okay? And um, ano pa ba? O kagaya nun, summa cum laude, magna cum laude. Ano yun? Ordinal level of measurement. Okay? Ano pa ba? Firstborn, secondborn, okay? Ano pa? Thirdborn, and then yung pinakabata. Okay? In terms of what do you call this? Um, birth order. Di ba? Ano yun? Ordinal yun. Another, ayan, level of education, di ba? Or highest educational background. Ayan, from the word itself, highest. Elementary, high school, college. Okay? Ayun. So, yan. I suggest guys, if you're going to message me, guys, um, ano siya if you're going to message me regarding your answer, huwag niyong i-direct. Okay? Ilagay niyo doon sa mababasa ng lahat para mas malaman nila kung ano yung sagot niyo. Okay po? Ayan. Huwag kayong mahiya. Huwag niyong i-direct message. Ipakita niyo sa lahat yung sagot niyo. Okay? Ayan. Um, how about this? May sumagot dito, colors of the rainbow. Miss Babera, is this nominal or ordinal? Miss Babera, is that nominal or ordinal? Miss Babera, you can message us. Okay, ganito. Ang colors of the rainbow, um, more on ano siya eh, more on what do you call this, nominal. Kasi 'di ba ang colors of the rainbow, wala naman mas ano eh, what do you call this, mas mataas compared doon. So they're just representing the color, but it doesn't mean that one color is superior to another color. Unlike sa gold, silver, bronze na makikita natin sa Olympics, 'di ba? Doon makikita natin na si gold mas mataas kay silver, si silver mas mataas kay bronze. Okay? Pag sinabi natin gold, silver, tsaka bronze, hindi siya ano eh, hindi siya pantay-pantay lang. No, they have a hierarchy. So pag sinabi nating hierarchy, may pinakamataas, may pinakamababa. Sa colors of the rainbow, wala namang mas mataas or mas mababa sa kanila. They're just representing different colors or colors and then yun, 'di ba? So it's more on nominal. So yung types of color that can be found in the rainbow is a nominal level of measurement. Okay? Ayan. So maganda yan para mas naano natin, tawag dito, mas na-gauge natin or na-appraise natin whether your answer is correct or not. Okay? Ayan. Ay, nalipat. Okay. Next is, wait lang guys. Okay, next is interval level of measurement. Okay, so when we talk about the interval level of measurement, okay, there is no true 0 point. Interval scales hold no true zero and can represent values below zero. So what are the examples? You can measure temperatures below 0 degrees Celsius, such as negative 10 degrees, and then so on and so forth. So when we talk about interval level of measurement, ibig sabihin, okay, um, there's no true 0 point. Okay, or another thing is that we can have or we can interpret values below zero. Okay, kagaya ng, di ba yung sa uh, temperature, okay, hindi lang siya mag-stop sa zero. Okay, we can have -1 in terms of temperature, lalo na if you are residing sa Japan, sa South Korea, or America, okay, or sa Europe, di ba, ang mga temperature nila, hindi sila zero yung pinakamababa. No. Okay? You can have -10, -20, -50, and then so on and so forth. Okay? And the next is ratio level of measurement. Okay? This scale has an absolute zero or character of origin. Okay? And so let's say for example is height and weight. Diba? Pag sinabi natin height and weight, hindi pwedeng zero ang height mo or zero yung weight mo or below zero yung height mo or below zero yung weight mo. Walang ganun. Ang interval yon. So sa ratio, okay, makikita natin na ang weight mo, it could be 10, it could be 15, 20, di ba? Or pwedeng, paano ba? Pwede ka maging 5'7", or 5 flat, okay, or 5'5", or 5'6", and then so on and so forth. But you cannot be zero or below zero. Okay? So, ibig sabihin yun, you have an absolute zero or character of origin. Okay, so it should be zero and above, but you cannot go zero and below because if we're talking, or you can interpret zero and below, that's not ratio, that's interval. Okay, but if we're going to use SPSS, guys, usually si interval tsaka si ratio, lagi siyang magkasama. Okay? Ngayon, so later on, mas makiklear, mas makaklarify natin yan pag nag-navigate tayo ng SPSS. Okay? Ngayon. Next is, ayan, we have two major classification of statistics. So again, we mentioned this a while ago. I'll just have a short recap. So again, statistics. Okay, what are the example of statistics? Ito, we have measures of central tendency. I know you're familiar with that. We have mean, median, and mode, and we have measures of variability. What are they? We have range, variance, standard deviation, semi-quartile, okay, and so on and so forth. And next also is for the inferential stat, we draw conclusion out of our data or our variables. Okay? So ano yung mga example? Ito yung gagamitan natin ng SPSS mamaya. We have Titus independent, Titus dependent, di ba? Kruskal-Wallis, Manditni, ANOVA, MANOVA, ANCOVA, and then so on and so forth. Okay? Ayan. So you really need to familiarize yourself with this. Okay? Ayan. May mga research na ginagamitan ng descriptive stat. Okay? May mga research na ginagamitan ng inferential stat lang. Pero may mga research na ginagamitan ng descriptive tsaka inferential statistics. Sir, pagdating po ba sa experimental namin, ano po bang gagamitin namin? Descriptive lang po ba? Inferential lang po ba? Or combination? The answer is what? Combination, because the descriptive stats and inferential stats will be helpful in terms of your results and at the same time in explaining your results, or also known as the discussion. Okay? So again, pagdating nyo sa inyong experiment, ang gagamitin natin, ang hahanapin natin ay descriptive stats, and at the same time, importantly, we also need to know the inferential statistics. Okay po? Ayun. So, I guess we're done with the slide. Okay. Right now, we're going to proceed with your um, module. Ayan. Punta na tayo doon sa module nyo. So, ano yun? Yung chapter 8. Okay. So, balik kayo sa module nyo. Punta tayo sa module nyo. Okay. So, dito na tayo sa chapter 8. So, sa chapter 8, dito na yung mga types, specific types ng descriptive stat and inferential statistics. Okay? So, guys, sa long exam natin na lalabas tong mga to. So, it's very important na alam nyo kung kailan nyo sila gagamitin at alam nyo din kung kailan nyo sila hindi gagamitin. Okay? You need to have this evaluative skill, okay, on when are you going to use these different types of statistics. So, this is page, I hope you can follow, guys, ha? Okay? Chapter 8, ito na. Page 93. Okay, so kindly proceed to page 93 of our module. Okay, so I need to share screen. Oops, this one. And then share. Okay, now, if we're going to proceed to your module, it's very synthesized. Okay, naka-ano tayo, tabular, para mas madaling tandaan. So I encourage you to take down notes in terms of what are the specific examples for that. Okay? Para naman mag-take down kayo at mas merong retention. Okay? Ayan. So again, before we proceed with descriptive and inferential stat, ito na naman tayo, levels of measurement. Kasi nga, again, mahalaga to. Okay? So again, pag nominal, categorical, or categories, or classification. Pag ordinal, it's an hierarchy, in order, or in rank. Okay? Pag sinabi naman nating interval, ano, no true zero value, or absolute zero meaning. And then again, when we talk about ratio, meron naman siyang ano, okay, absolute zero value. Okay? Ayan. Next is, ayan na, basahin niyo na lang yung mga example. Again, lalabas to sa long exam nyo, so you need to familiarize yourself with this. Okay? Ayan. So again, it's given in your module. Again, scan that, read that, and familiarize yourself with that. Next naman is let's proceed with descriptive stat. Okay, sa descriptive stat, dalawa lang naman yan. Ano ba yung mga types ng descriptive stat? Measures of central tendency or central location or measures of variability. Okay, sa measures of central tendency, again, it has something to do with mean, median, tsaka mode. Okay, sa measures of variability naman, we have range, semi-interquartile range, standard deviation, and variance. Okay, but here, guys, again, na-topic nyo na to or natakal nyo to sa psychological statistics nyo, we're just going to focus on ano ba yung mas gagamitin natin sa experimental psychology. Okay po? Ayan. So, again, ang measures of central tendency, kung mapapansin nyo, ang definition niya is mas inclined kay mean. Okay? Ayan. So, ano ba ibig sabihin ng measures of central tendency? So, attempts to describe a set of data by identifying the central position within the set of data. Kaya nga ang tawag sa kanya central tendency kasi we're looking for the centrality. We're looking for the what? Okay? Position in the center of your data set. Okay? Ayan. So, we have three types. As I mentioned, mean, median, mode. Okay? Sinabi nating descriptive ang measures of central tendency kasi nga, kung mapapansin nyo, you're just describing ano ba yung mode niya, ano ba yung median niya, ano ba yung mean niya. Di ba pag sinasabi mo yung average, you're just describing. Wala namang inference doon, wala namang conclusion doon. Di ba? You're just describing na, ito lang yung average ng mga estudyante. Pero sinabi ba natin kung sino ang mas magaling sa mga section? Wala. Okay, pag sinasabi na natin or we have this inference or judgment na mas magaling ang AB sa BS, then it becomes inferential. But if we're just describing that this is the mean score of AB and BS students, then that is just what? Okay? Description lang yan. Or we're just describing. Okay? Ayan. So mean, again, it has something to do with the average score. So what is the counterpart of that in the scales of measurement? We have interval or ratio. Okay? And again, it's very important to ensure that the distribution is normal. Okay? Yung normalcy ng data nyo. Okay? And usually, mean is being utilized for parametric type of statistics or test. Okay? Another is median. Okay? So, median from the word itself, okay? The middle score or ano yung counterpart niya. Okay, usually yung ordinal. Pero pwede rin naman si interval and ratio. Okay? Alam ko naman, familiar na kayo dito kay median. Okay? Now, si median usually, ano siya? Parametric or non-parametric? Ano siya? Non-parametric. If mean is for parametric, si median and mode is usually utilized for non-parametric test. Mamaya, mas maunawaan natin yan. Okay? And again, when we talk about mode, okay, there is something to do with what? Most frequent or repeated score. Okay? Ayan. And usually, mode is being utilized for nominal data or what? It's a very useful analysis for qualitative. Di ba? Last time, nung nagkaroon tayo ng workshop, we're able to discuss to you yung phenomenological, case study, narrative, tsaka grounded theory. Now, ang analysis ng ganong research ay ano? Usually ito, mode, or ano yung mas nare-repeat. Okay? And then from that, you can have your themes, sub-themes, or cluster of themes. Okay? Ayan. So again, si mode mas ginagamit siya sa mga non-parametric test tsaka pag ang research mo ay qualitative. Okay po? Ayan. Next naman is, ito, punta naman tayo sa measures of variability. Okay, ayan. Now, when we talk about measures of variability, what does it mean? Okay, kasi di ba sa measures of central tendency, we're just looking ano yung average niya, ano yung center score niya, or yung centrality ng data mo. Okay, now when we talk about measures of variability, we're looking for gaano ka-disperse or gaano ka-diverse yung or ka-distributed yung score mo. Okay, ayan. Let's say for example, um, the score is 10, 10, and 10. Can you follow? So if your score is 10, 10, and 10, what is the average? 10. Tama? So, pasensya na, hindi ako masyadong magaling sa math. Okay? So, pag ang scores mo ay 10, 10, 10, okay, the average is 10. Okay, so it is something to do the measures of central tendency. But if your score is 5, 10, and 15, can you follow? What is the average? Can you please chat the answer in our chat box? Again, 10, 10, 10, the average is 10. But what if the scores are 5, 10, and 15? What is the average? Okay, what is the answer? Kindly chat. Okay, the correct answer is 10. Pero, anong mapapansin niyo? Saan mas scatter ang score? Sa 10, 10, 10 or sa 5, 10, 15? Okay, so mas scatter ang score sa 5, 10, and 15. That's correct. Okay, so the measures of central tendency, mini-measure niya lang yung centrality. Ano yun ang average niya? Ano yung weighted mean niya? But when we talk about measures of central tendency, then we're looking for the dispersion ng score. Okay? Yung heterogeneity ng score or gaano siya ka-homogeneous or gaano siya ka-heterogeneous. So sa measures of variability or dispersion, makikita natin na yung pangalawang example ay mas dispersed. Though they possess the same average or weighted mean, but yung dispersion ng score or yung heterogeneity ng score is mas dispersed dito sa pangalawa. Okay? Yun yung limitation ni measures of central tendency. Hanggang average lang siya. Pero si variability, ang mas mini-measure niya is that ano yung variability ng scores nila sa dataset mo. Okay? Ayan. Next. Ano naman daw yung type ng tawag natin, measures of variability. Guys, before I forgot, in terms of your experimental psychology, pagdating sa centrality, ang pinaka ginagamit natin usually ay mean. Okay, mean. Okay? Lagi niyong tatandaan, ang lagi natin hahanapin in terms of descriptive stat ay mean. How about naman sa measures of variability? Ang lagi natin hahanapin ay ano? Siyempre, default naman to lagi sa SPSS, yung standard deviation. Okay, so again, tandaan nyo for measures of centrality, mean, okay, measures of variability, standard deviation. So pag magkukompute kayo ng mga experiment nyo, aside from your inferential stat, kailangan maibigay nyo yung descriptive stat ng mean at standard deviation. Default yon. Okay, kasi usually guys, sa mga literature, sa mga journal article, lagi nilang kinukuha yung mean tsaka standard deviation. And again, our experiment is something to do with change. It's something to do with effect. So anong tinitingnan natin doon? Kung may changes ba yung average niya or may changes ba yung mean score nila? And at the same time, for us to know gaano ka-disperse yung scores nila. So it is properly represented by mean for central tendency and standard deviation for the measures of variability. Okay po? So wag nang kakalimutan yan. Next is, ito na yung mga types ng variability. We have the range. Okay, range is you're just going to reduce the highest to the lowest score. Okay? Ayan. Alam nyo minsan guys, itong range, okay, bilang isang guro, I always consider this. Okay? Kung, di ba minsan, magpapa-exam 1 to 100, usually, di ba dapat ang passing score ay 70 and above kasi 70% kasi major subject niya yung psychology. Pero minsan, as a teacher, I consider the highest and the lowest score. Okay? Kasi doon natin nakikita gaano ka-hetero yung score within the dataset. Okay? Siyempre, kung mas maraming mataas, di ba? Yung average ng passing score, mas mataas din. Pero, kung ang lowest score ay sobrang baba at marami nakakuha ng mababang score, okay? then therefore, i-adjust mo siya ng konti. Okay? Ayan. So from that range pa lang, di ba? Highest and the lowest. So from that, makikita mo na kaano ka diverse or gaano ka dispersed yung scores. Okay? Next naman is semi-interquartile range. Okay? Guys, we're not going to teach you the computation of this, pero may computation to. Okay? I hope you learned that in your psychological stat class. Okay? Here is in your semi-interquartile range is that the formula is kasi 'di ba ang data set natin nahahati siya sa or you can divide them into four quarters or into quarter. We have the Q1, Q2, Q3, and Q4. So if that is 1 to 100, we have 25, we have 50, we have 75, and we have the 100. So, how are we going to know the semi-interquartile range? Again, interquartile, but it is in a semi-range. So, your Q3 minus Q1 divided by 2. Okay? So, Q3, okay, minus Q1 divided by 2, then that is your semi-interquartile range. Okay? Next, let's proceed with your standard deviation and variance. So standard deviation, guys, it's again, dito natin kinuha yung definition ng measures of variability. Okay, so in standard deviation, dispersion of a data set in relation to the mean. Okay, so again, sa standard deviation, ano pa rin kinukonsider natin, di ba? Yung mean is a very important element at measures of variability. Yung mean, kailangan makita natin yung mean. Okay, ayan. So that's why it's very important now for you to have your centers of measure, centers of measures and tendency first, and then to be followed by the measures of variability. Okay, ayan. So again, it is something to do with the dispersion of a data set in relation to the mean. Okay? So, kung ang average mo ay 10, kagaya ng example natin kanina, we need to know gaano ba ka-diverse yung scores na nakuha mo nila. Yes, 10 lang, 10 ang average. Okay, that's the average, that's the central tendency. But we need to know in relation to the mean, gaano ka-diverse yung score nila. Okay? May nakakuha ba ng 8, may nakakuha ba ng 10, 11, 12? Kasi kanina, di ba sa example natin, ang dispersion niya ay 5 to 15. Pero ang average niya pa rin ay 10. Whereas in example number 1, hindi siya masyadong dispersed kasi lahat na nakakuha ng score ay 10 lang. Okay, so parang mababa yung variability niya. Well, in fact, sa another is mas mataas kasi nga, okay, ang average niya ay 10 pero may nakascore ng 5 at may nakascore ng 15. Okay? Ayan. So, calculation is square root of variance. So, pag in-square root mo yung variance, ano yung magiging sagot mo? Yung standard deviation. So, it tells how far each score lies from the mean. Okay, again, tandaan nyo to, mas mataas ang standard deviation, ibig sabihin, mas disperse or mas nakascatter ang mga score in a particular dataset. Di ba? Ma-appreciate nyo tong example na to, yung measures of central tendency, tsaka yung measures of variability sa mga grades nyo. Makikita nyo yan. Okay, doon siya ma-appreciate, di ba? Lalo na ng elementary, di ba nung elementary tayo, may math, may science, may English, may ano pa, civic at kultura, may EPP, may values, and then so on and so forth. Di ba? Minsan, makikita mo, parehas lang kayo ng average ng kaibigan mo or ng katabi mo or ng best friend mo. Okay? Pero, pag nag-compare na kayo ng card mo, makikita mo, ay, mas disperse yung score niya, pero same lang kayo ng average. Di ba? Nangyayari sa akin yan, yung katabi ko ng elementary ako. So what happened is that yung katabi ko, okay, almost same lang kami ng average. Ang average ko lang ng grade 6 around 87. Di ba? Siya, 87 din. Okay? So, ibig sabihin ba dapat nun, yung mga grades namin sa lahat ng subject the same? No. Hindi. Pero, doon mo makikita, sino ang mas dispersed? Sino yung mas heterogeneous yung score? Okay? And siya, almost the same lang yung score niya. Di ba? Yung tipo bang tawag dito? 87. So, halos lahat ng score niya or halos lahat ng grade niya sa English, Science, Math, 87 lang. Ako hindi. Okay? Magaling ako sa science, pero hindi ako magaling pagdating sa math. Can you follow? Okay. So, parang ang math ko nagna 90 plus ako. Ay, yung science ko, nagna 90 plus ako sa science. Pero pagdating sa math, nako po, minsan nagla-line of 7 ako sa mathematics. Di ba? So, kung makikita mo yung ano namin, mas diverse yung score ko. Pero ang average namin, it's the same. Okay. Another example, makikita niyo yan pagdating niyo ng board exam. Di ba? Kaya minsan sasabihin nyo, ay, parehas kayong pasado, ang average nyo parehas na 75. Pero kung makikita mo, ay, nahatak ako ni psych assessment, ay, nahatak ako ni abstract, and then so and so forth. Okay? So again, sa descriptive stat, hindi lang mahalaga na alam mo yung average, but also it's very important to know the dispersion of score. And the larger the standard deviation, mas disperse ang score ng data set. Okay po? Ayan. And then last is the variance. So variance reflects the degree of spread in the data set. Okay? Yan. So calculation, you're going to square up the standard deviation. Okay? And the more spread the data, the larger the variance is relation to the mean. So it's almost the same with standard deviation. But again, sa experimental psychology, ang gagamitin natin not the variance, okay? But rather, eto, yung standard deviation. Kasi usually, ang value ng variance malalaki eh. But when you square with your variance, it becomes the standard deviation. So bakit standard deviation? Simply kasi yun yung mga ginagamit sa journal article. So dahil yun ang ginagamit sa mga journal article, yun lang yung gagayahin natin. Okay, that's why we're going to get the mean and the standard deviation. Okay, ayan. Next is we're going to proceed with what? Parametric test and non-parametric test. Okay, ayan. So 1 hour and 30 minutes na pala ako nagsasalita, no? So right after we discuss the parametric test and the non-parametric test, then we're going to have our break. And then right after that, we're going to teach you the navigation of the statistical package for social sciences. Okay? Ayan. So aside from nominal, interval, ratio, or ordinal, okay, ito pa yung i-consider natin sa pagpili ng test. Is it parametric or non-parametric? Okay, actually ito lang yung tekniko na nag-aaral ko. Paano mo malalaman ang gagamitin mo ay si Manova? Paano mo malalaman ang gagamitin mo ay si Wilcoxon? Paano mo malalaman ang gagamitin mo ay si McNemar? O kali naman si tawag dito si Titus Independent or Dependent or si Spearman or si Pearson R. Okay, dalawa lang. Una, scales of measurement. Yun ang lagi kong tinatandaan. Nominal ba yan? Ordinal ba siya? Interval or ratio? And number two, this is crucial. Parametric ba siya or non-parametric? Okay po? Ayan. Guys, pag nag-exam kayo, next week, ang gagawin natin, merong tawag dito, meron tayong case, meron tayong research. Then sa research na yun, lahat ng information nakalagay doon. Then from that, you're going to decide whether parametric ba yun or non-parametric. Ano yung scales of measurement ng mga variable? Nominal, ordinal, interval, and ratio. And then from that, gagamitin nyo sa SPSS, kayo yung mag-a-analyze, and right after you analyze, kayo din yung magkukonclude at mag-discuss. Okay? So, if you're not going to be serious with this, hindi nyo masasagutan nyo ng maayos. Okay, so again, let's have the demarcation line between the parametric test and the non-parametric test. Okay, so in parametric test, we have when the data has normal distribution. Okay, or used when level of measurement is what? Interval or ratio data. Okay? Ayan. Now, may mga statistics tayo na nagme-measure kung normal ba ang distribution ng dataset natin. Okay? But again, hindi ko na siya ituturo kasi hindi naman tayo statistics class. Okay? So, yun. Okay? So, ang pinaka-concern natin is, ang laging sinasabi ng teacher ko, still remember, during my master's at saka sa PhD, usually, pag madami kang participants, malaki ang chance na normal distributed yung mga participants mo. Pero, pag ang participants mo ay 10, 15, 20, malamang, malapakalaking chance na yan na hindi siya normally distributed. Okay? But again, for us to confirm, gagamit tayo ng SPSS to test the normalcy of our data. Okay? Ayan. Usually sinasabi na, pag 30 and below, parametric yun. Pag 31 and above, parametric yun. No? Kaya nga ito, sinasabi ko na sa inyo, karamihan sa experiment nyo, ilan ang participant nyo? Merong 4, may 6, may 10, ano pa, may nakalabing-4, ay nako, puro non-parametric yan. So, ibig sabihin, ang mga test na gagamitin natin ay mas leaning into non-parametric or mas leaning siya into nominal and ordinal. Okay po? Sino ba sa inyo dito na ang participants nyo ay 31 and above? Meron ba? Kindly utilize meron ba tayong ano dito? Meron ba tayong reaction dito? Parang meron. Ayun, meron. So, if your participants are 31 and above, kindly press the reaction here. Yung thumbs. Oh, na-anticipate ko na to. Malamang marami sa inyo, okay, nag-30 and below. Okay? Sino naman sa inyo ang participants sa experiment ay 30 and below? Okay? Kindly press the reaction and then use the thumbs mark na ano, tawag dito? Na, what do you call this? Emoticon ba ang tawag dito? Or reaction? Okay. So again, okay, from your update is or messages, it's more on ano kayo, no? Karamihan sa inyo ay magfo-fall into non-parametric. Okay? Ayan. Next is let's proceed here. Okay? Again, pag sinabi natin parametric, usually ang level of measurement mo, interval or ratio data, okay, your data is normally distributed and your participants is greater than 30 and above. Okay, now, pagdating naman sa non-para, it's the antithesis of parametric, of course, is that when your data set are not normally distributed, and then your level of measurement is nominal and ordinal, and then used when conditions are not as stringent or controlled, and when sample size is small. So again, automatic, di ba? Dahil kakaunti lang naman ng mga participants nyo, malamang sa malamang, non-parametric ang gagamitin nyo. Okay? That's the beauty, and at the same time, that's the limitation of experimental research. Kasi, kumpara sa mga correlational descriptive research or other types of quantitative research, sa experimental, usually, kaunti lang talaga ang nagiging participants nila, lalo na pagdating sa psychology. Di ba? I also experienced that during my dissertation, during my PhD. Kaunti lang yung naging participants ko sa experiment kasi mataas na yung attrition rate and at the same time, ang hirap maghanap ng participants. And I know exactly na experience nyo yan. Nung una, ang participants nyo 30, tapos naging 20, naging 15, tapos bandang huli, ang natira, 12. Diba? So, malaki yan chance, hindi yan normally distributed. So, hindi na kayo gagamit ng parametric. Malamang, ang gagamitin nyo na ay non-parametric. Okay? Ayan. So, punta lang kayo dito if you really want to know the demarcation line between the para and non-para, ito yon. So, this will be your sign or signal for you to determine whether what type of statistical test are you gonna use. Okay? Ayan. And another sign for you to know kung anong statistics ang gagamitin mo Ito yung number 3. Okay? What is your purpose? Tatlo lang naman yan. Okay? Prediction ba? Correlation ba? Okay? Or difference or effect ba? Are you with me, guys? Okay? So, again, ilang beses, I guess na-topic na natin to sa chapter 3. Okay? Ayan. Yung pagdating sa mga different types of research or alternatives if we're not going to utilize an experimental research. Okay? So we have prediction. Anong mga stats ang gagamitin mo if your purpose is prediction? We have simple linear regression, we have multiple regression. What if correlation naman? Of course, we have Spearman, we have chi-square, we have Pearson R, we have point by serial. Para naman pag purpose in terms of comparison or change, eto na yon. Sa experiment, hindi siya gumagamit ng prediction, hindi rin siya gumagamit ng correlation. Ang ginagamit sa experiment ay significant change or significant effect or significant difference. Okay? Ito yon. So, automatic, again, hindi kayo gagamit ng linear regression, hindi kayo gagamit ng multiple regression, hindi kayo gagamit ng Pearson R or Spearman or chi-square. Okay? Usually, ito ang gagamitin natin. Okay? Titas dependent, if your data set is what? Parametric. Kung hindi naman parametric ang data set mo, anong gagamitin mo? Wilcoxon, Mann-Whitney, okay, Kruskal-Wallis, or Friedman, and then so and so forth. Okay po? Ayan. So, let's start with non-parametric. Or, sorry. Let's start with inferential test. Kanina tapos na tayo sa descriptive. Ngayon naman, proceed na tayo sa inferential test. Okay? But before we proceed, any question, guys? You have question, guys, regarding our parametric or non-parametric? Okay, types of stat. Or scales of measurement. Do you have any question? Okay, so I guess, again, guys, isa sa critical part ng poster presentation nyo, ako titingnan ko din to personally, kung tama ba yung statistics na ginamit niyo. Pag ang participants mo ay 8 at ang ginamit mo ay titas independent, ay naku po, tama kali yun. Pag ang participant mo ay 18, plus you have 3 levels, okay, then you only have one independent variable. Tapos ang ginamit mo, one-way ANOVA, tingnan natin kung tama ba yun. Can you follow? So, crucial yon. Crucial ang pagpili mo ng statistical test. At malamang sa malamang, pag mali ang statistical test na ginamit mo, ang results, conclusion, and discussion mo, mali na rin. So, it's very crucial. Okay po? Ayun. So, before we proceed, let's start with the inferential test under the prediction purpose. Okay? So, again, okay, we're going to tackle, itong sa side na to itong sa side na to, ito, yung pinapaikutan ko ng cursor, ito ay mga parametric. Itong kabila naman, ito yung mga non-parametric. Okay? Ayan. So, hindi naman natin kayo bobombardin ng mga statistical tests kasi hindi naman tayo statistics major. Okay po? Ayan. So, number 1 is simple linear regression. Okay? So, ang first variable group niya or independent variable niya ay interval or ratio. Whereas, yung second variable niya, it should be what? Interval ratio din. Okay? Let's say, for example, we want to know if um, sleeping, okay, or number of hours in sleeping can predict, okay, the performance in a particular test. Pag kumpleto ba yung tulog mo, it can predict na magiging mataas din ang test scores mo sa isang particular subject. Can you follow? Na-discuss na natin to, ha? Another is sa multiple regression. Again, the purpose is what? To predict. So sa multiple regression, sa first variable mo, okay, ilang independent variable ang meron ka? At least dalawa o pataas. And your independent variables, again, plural, should be interval or ratio. Okay? Ito yung sinasabi ko kanina na kailangan alam nyo yung nominal, ordinal, and interval ratio. And at the same time, guys, ang second variable mo, as much as possible, again, it should be interval or ratio. How many dependent variable ang meron ka lang dapat? Isa lang. So, multiple independent variable na interval ratio, okay, in relation to what? One interval ratio na dependent variable. Okay? Ayan. So, let's have an example. Let's say, for example, ang dependent variable mo ay stress. Okay, stress. Okay? So, ano ba yung mga possible predictor ng stress? Marami. Alam na alam niyo yun. Number one, okay, temperature. Sir, nakakaano ba yun? Yes, diba? O, kayo, nung sobrang init ng experimental laboratory, natatagalan nyo ba? Hindi, di ba? Nagdudulot yun ng stress. And because of that, it's so hard for you to listen or to absorb the lesson. Another, yung baon nyo, di ba? Factor din minsan yung baon nyo. Baka minsan, kaunti yung baon na binigay sa inyo ng nanay nyo. Kaya usually, nagpipredict siya ng stress. Ano pa ba? Yun nga, yung sleeping, yung hours of in terms of sleeping, di ba? Minsan nagiging predictor yun ng stress. Okay, so if our study is about using those independent variable and then predicting your dependent variable, which is something to do with school performance, then you're going to utilize the multiple regression. Okay? Ayan. Next, let's proceed. Punta naman tayo kay correlation. Okay? Sa correlation, guys, again, pag sinabi natin correlation, again, walang cause and effect relationship dito. That is just na sinasabi lang natin when one independent goes up, the other dependent variable or other variable will goes up as well or depende. Okay? So again, when we talk about correlation, ang hinahanap lang natin, number one, is there a significant relationship? Okay? This is only a review. Number two, what is the direction of the relationship? Okay, positive ba siya or negative? Okay, pag positive, again, the relationship is direct. Okay, but if it is negative, it is something to do with inverse correlation. So pag tumataas si variable A, si variable B bumababa. Okay, pag positive naman siya, pag tumataas si variable A, si variable B tumataas din. Sabay sila. Okay? Ayan. So, ano pa? And also, we need to know the what? The intensity of relationship. Di ba nakita niyo yan sa person product moment correlation or sa correlation coefficient table? Okay? If their correlation is weak, strong, and then so on and so forth. Okay? Ayun. Now, here, again, pag ang pinapag-usapan natin ay parametric. Again, parametric. And we want to know the correlation between your variables. Okay, you have two variables. You have the variable 1 or the independent variable, and you have another variable, okay, or your variable 2 or dependent variable, and then they are interval ratio, and your participants are 30 and above, and normally distributed, then ang gagamitin mo ay Pearson R. Okay? Ano ba maganda example? Is there a significant relationship between levels of depression and levels of anxiety? Diba? Pag tumataas ba si depression mo, tumataas din sa anxiety mo. Or pag tumataas si depression mo, bumababa ang level of anxiety mo. Okay? So pag ganun ang study mo, then you're going to utilize Pearson R. Again, it should be interval ratio. It's either my true zero value or no zero value. Okay po? What if, what if ang counterpart ng Pearson product moment correlation coefficient are Spearman rank. Okay? Spearman rank. What if ang nangyari is non-parametric, your data is not normally distributed and your participants, let's say, are just 20. Okay? At ang iyong scales of measurement ay ordinal. Okay? And your purposes correlation, ang gagamitin mo ay Spearman rank test. Okay? Alam niyo, isa to sa laging nagiging mistake ng mga estudyante, lalo na pag umupo ako sa mga panel during research. Gumagamit sila lagi ng Pearson R, pero yung dataset naman nila, hindi pang Pearson R, not normally distributed. Tapos, nirank nila, hindi. Dapat ang gagamitin nila, Spearman rank, hindi Pearson R. Can you follow? So, wag kayong magkakamali dun. Again, if your purpose is correlating two variables, and then the data set are not normally distributed, and the scale of measurement is ordinal, then Spearman rank po ang gagamitin nyo. Okay? Ayan. Sige, let's have an example. We want to correlate the rank of students ng AB tsaka sa rank ng students ng BS. Okay? Pag ganun ang dataset mo, or ganun yung research mo, tapos you only have, let's say, 10 students per AB and 10 students per BS, then, hindi ka gagamit ng Pearson R. Ang gagamitin mo, Spearman rank. Okay po? Are we clear? Let's say, for example, another explanation. You want to correlate the rank of best universities, okay, ng 2018 at you want to correlate the rank of best universities in 2019, yung top 10, let's say, then, hindi Pearson R yun. You're going to utilize the Spearman rank. Okay? I hope we are clear with that. Okay? Are we clear, guys? So far, do you have question with Pearson R and Spearman rank? May tanong po? Okay, so I guess there's no query or clarification in terms of that. Again, guys, again, I encourage you to ask question. Kasi lalabas to sa exam nyo. Pag kayo nangamote sa exam nyo, naku, ewan ko na lang. Okay? Ayan. So, next is under the correlation is what? Eto. Chi-square test of independence. Ibig sabihin, pag ang independent variable nyo ay nominal at ang dependent variable nyo ay nominal din, and they have multiple levels ng nominal tsaka multiple levels ng nominal, okay, or two or more categorical, can you follow, guys? Ang gagamitin natin ay chi-square test of independence. Okay? So again, ang independent variable nyo ay nominal with two or more categories. At ang dependent variable nyo ay nominal din with two or more categorical level, okay? Or groups rather. Sorry for the term. It should be more on groups, not level. Then we're going to employ the chi-square test of independence. Okay? So let's say, for example, ang study natin ay may kinalaman sa election. Okay, kumari mag-elect tayo. Then, we want to know the voting behavior between religion tsaka voting preference. Okay? Ano ba yung sa religion? Ano ba yung mga types? We have Catholic, we have INC, we have ilang level na yon. Ay, sorry, ilang group na yon? Tatlo. That's your independent variable. And then another group is what? Okay? Voting preference. Ano ba yung voting preference natin dito sa Pilipinas? Sa ibang bansa kasi, di ba, may Republican, and then so on and so forth. Pero sa atin, siguro, ano na lang, dilawan, di ba? May maka-BBM, mga ganon, di ba? Ganon yung category ng voting preference natin. Okay? So, kung ang unang variable mo is connected with types of religion, and the next variable is connected with your, what do you call this? Voting preference, okay? Then, you're going to utilize chi-square independence. Can you follow? At si chi-square test of this, ano siya? Parametric or non-parametric? Okay, since nominal siya, si chi-square test of independence ay non-parametric. Okay po. Again okay. Meron kasing test na ang pangalan ay McNemar. Si McNemar kasi hanggang ano lang siya, 2 by 2. Okay? Ang ID niya, dalawang group lang, ang DB niya, dalawang group lang din. At sa McNemar, they are naturally what? Dichotomous. Yes or no, going to party or not going to party, then and so forth. Pero si chi-square test of independence, hindi. Yung categorization niya, yung grupo niya, it is 2 and above. Pwedeng 3, pwedeng 4, pwedeng 5. Okay, ganun din yung dependent variable. Nominal din siya with multiple independent groups. Okay? Ayun. So, if that is your consideration, and that is the nature of your research or study, then you're going to utilize the chi-square test of independence. Okay po? Ayan. Next. After this, magbe-break tayo Okay. Next is, yung purpose natin, again, ay correlation. Pero, eto. Ang independent variable natin ay nominal. Again, pag narinig niyo yung nominal, right away, ano yon? Kailangan category. Tapos, yung dependent variable natin ay interval or ratio. Okay? So again, sa point by serial, ilan ang independent variable natin? Isa. Pero, meron siyang 2 groups. Pwedeng, okay. Ang number 1 example dyan, ganito. Pag ang study mo ay ang independent variable mo ay gender. Okay? Kumari, ang gender mo, kailangan, again, dichotomous Okay? Babae, tsaka lalaki. Okay? Tapos, ang dependent variable mo ay test score ng lalaki tsaka ng babae. And you want to know the significant relationship between the test scores between male and female. If that is the nature of your research and that is parametric, then ang gagamitin natin ay point by serial test. Okay? Pwede natin baguhin. Ang independent variable natin, let's say for example, is major, AB Psych, tsaka BS Psych. Tapos, ang dependent variable natin ay result ng board exam. Di ba ang result ng board exam, interval ratio yun? Okay? Tapos, ang major, kung BS or AB, di ba ano yun? What do you call this? Nominal yun? Okay? Or categorical? Then, therefore, pag ganun, ano yun? Point by serial. Again, guys, huwag kayong matito, ha? Huwag kayong malito. Okay? Ang independent variable na isa lang. Okay? Pero under that, meron siyang two groups. Hanggang two groups lang. Pag three groups na yon, hindi nyo na pwedeng gamitin si point by serial. Kasi nga, dichotomous. Okay? That's the limitation of point by serial. Hanggang dichotomous lang, dichotomy lang. Hanggang dalawa lang. Pag tatlo na yung groups nyo, hindi mo nagagamitin si point by serial. You're going to look for another statistical test. Kagaya ng sinabi ko, gender. Gender is one variable only. Pero yung categories na dalawa. Lalaki, babae. Major, in psychology, isang variable lang yun. Pero yung groups na dalawa. Okay? A, B, and BS. Yung category niya, dalawa. Okay? Yan. So wag kayong malito kasi last time nagkaroon kayo ng kalituhan regarding the number of independent variable tsaka yung number ng levels. So wag kayong malilito doon. Okay? Ayan. So again, if that is your type of study, then you're going to utilize point by serial test. Okay guys? Ayan. So I guess, hihinto muna tayo dito. Okay, 2 oras na pala ako nagsasalita. So I just cut this and we're going to have a 5-minute break. And then right after that, we're going to discuss the statistical test under compare means, okay, or difference or change. And then right after that, we're going to teach you how to navigate the SPSS. Okay, guys? So break muna tayo, 10 minutes. Okay. Guys, again, if you have previous questions or clarifications, don't hesitate to ask it via our chat box. Okay. So again, this will be part of your long exam, and then it will also be part of your practical examination. So might as well, okay, you can ask queries hanggang meron pa kayong chance. Okay, hinto sa scenario to make the most out of our discussion. Okay? Ayan. Pero kung wala namang, wag na natin pilitin. Okay? Let's go back to our discussion. Ito na yan. Ayan. So, medyo malapit na tayo matapos. Okay, in terms of, by the way guys, okay naman yung audio ko. Kindly message me if it is audible on your part. Wait lang. Okay, so audible naman siya. Okay, so again, let's go back. Sana guys kapit lang tayo. Okay? And so next, tapos na tayo. We're done with prediction. We're also done with correlation. Right now, we're going to proceed with compare means and for differences. As I mentioned a while ago, if our research is experimental in terms of methodology, then we're looking for difference, change, or effect. Okay, so all the tests that we're going to discuss are, has a chance that this is the test or inferential test that you're going to utilize in terms of your experiment. Okay? Yung side dito, that pertains to parametric. Okay? And the other statistical tests in this side, these are non-parametric. Okay, so counterpart siya. Let's say, for example, this one. The counterpart of dependent t-test is Wilcoxon signed rank test. The counter part of t-test paired test is um, sorry, the counterpart of um, dependent t-test or paired test, ito kasi yung mga pangalan niya, marami siyang names, is Wilcoxon signed-rank test. The counterpart of independent t-test is Mann-Whitney U-test. The counterpart of one-way ANOVA is two-way ANOVA, medyo hindi na natin tawag dito. I-discuss yung counterpart ni two-way ANOVA. Okay? And then the rest, puro parametric na siya. So, may possibility ba na lumabas to sa board exam? Yes. Sir, lalabas po ba to sa lang exam natin? Yes na yes. Okay? Ayan. Now, let's proceed. Okay? So, the number one test that we're going to discuss under the compare means is dependent t-test. Ito, wag kayong malito dito ah. Marami siyang pangalan. Pwede siyang dependent t-test or t-test dependent. Repeated measures or t-test, lahat ng isa lang. Huwag kayong malilito. Okay? It only pertains to t-test dependent. Okay? Di ba guys, na-discuss natin ito sa chapter 3. Di ba sa chapter 3, if we have the element of time, we want to measure it pre and post, then usually dependent t-test ang ginagamit natin dyan. Okay? So, what are the requirements or qualifications for us to use dependent t-test? Number one is what? So we have one independent variable, okay, or related groups or match pairs, okay, and we have independent or ratio, okay, na one dependent variable. So again, we are clear with this that our independent variable is one, pero two, okay, related match group, and then our or dependent variable is we have one dependent variable and the type of scale of measurement is interval or ratio. Okay, so let's have an example. Okay, let's say for example our independent variable has something to do with type of mindfulness. Okay, or mindfulness, yan yung ano natin, yan yung tawag dito, yun yung independent variable natin. Okay? And then, yung independent variable natin na yun, okay, na may two categorical groups should be related. Okay? Related or match pair. Ibig sabihin, we only have one subject, pero it is being informed into different conditions. Okay? Yan. Sige. Pwede rin ganito. Ang study natin, okay, ano ang mas masarap na drink? Yung drink ba ni Ginny o yung drink ng Starbucks? Can you follow? Pero ang participant nyo, iinom both ni Starbucks, iinom din siya ng drinks from Ginny. At yung participant nyo, isa lang. Okay? Isang grupo lang. Kumari, ang mga participants lang natin ay mga BSP2A. BSP2A. Okay? The first thing is that uminom sila ng Coke, okay? Or ng drinks from Starbucks. And then right after 10 minutes, uminom naman sila ng drinks doon sa tawag dito sa binili. And then we're going to compare. Okay? And another type of research na connected with dependent test is let's say for example is yung diet. Okay? Yung diet mo, yung pagda-diet mo. Okay? And then you are being measured before and after. Okay? At yung participant nyo, same lang, two participants nyo. Sila lang yung participants. Okay? So, ito yung itetest mo sila bago mag-diet, which is yung pre. And then, uh, then after let's say 3 weeks diet, di ba? I-measure nyo sila
ulit. No? Weight, let's say the weight. Okay? So pag ganun yung test, no, ganun yung research mo, then you're going to utilize the dependent t-test repeated measures. Okay? Ayan. So, malamang sa malamang, baka merong gumamit sa inyo ng dependency test. And again, guys, again, since this is parametric, you need to consider the normalcy or the number of your participants. So as much as possible, if your participants is 31 and above, or you have plenty of participants, then malamang this is dependent t-test ang gagamitin nyo. Okay? Ayan. So, kunwari, type another type of research. Let's say, for example, is yung Kundalini. Kanino bang research yun naman yung Kundalini Yoga na yan? Okay. So, si Kundalini Yoga, mineasure yung pre-test, yung pre, before the Kundalini, tsaka yung post or after ng Kundalini Yoga. And then, your dependent variable is mental health. Okay? So, if that is the what do you call this? If that is the nature of your research or experiment, then ang gagamitin mo IC-dependent test. Okay? What if, sir, okay, ang participant lang namin sa Kundalini ay 10. Gagamit ka ba ng t-test dependent? Hindi. Ang gagamitin mo sino? Si Wilcoxon. Gagamitin mo na si Wilcoxon sign rank test. Okay? Again, si Wilcoxon sign rank test ay counterpart ni t-test dependent. Pero si Wilcoxon kasi, hindi siya parametric. Ano siya? Non-parametric. Okay? So, ganun din. Ang pinagkaiba lang, ang dependent variable nyo, kindly listen na, ang dependent variable nyo, hindi interval ratio, but rather ordinal. Alam nyo, ang gusto ko sa SPSS, di ba? Kasi pag ordinal, di ba, i-arrange siya from highest to lowest. Sa SPSS, pag na-navigate nyo sa SPSS na mismo ang mag-arrange sa inyo ng highest to lowest. Kaya niyang gawin yun. Okay? So therefore, you don't really need to what do you call this? You don't really need to arrange them. Okay? Yan. So kung ang participants nyo ay 10, 15, ay malamang sa malamang, hindi t-test dependent ang gagamitin nyo. Ito yun, Wilcoxon sign rank test. Okay? So ano example natin? Kagaya din ng kanina, before and after the Kundalini. Pero ang dependent variable nyo, okay, ganun pa rin. Okay? Ano ba yung dependent variable natin kanina? Mental health. Pero yung mental health, hindi natin siya titingnan na as interval ratio. Dahil parametric po, ang gagawin natin ordinal. Ibig sabihin, i-arrange na natin ng before and after the Kundalini Yoga, sino yung pinaka maayos ang mental health? Sino yung pinaka mababa ang mental health? Okay? Ganun din yung after ng Kundalini Yoga, sino yung pinakamataas, sino yung pinakamababa. But again, pag gagamitin mo ang SPSS, hindi mo na siya kailangan i-arrange. Pero pag i-compute mo siya manually, you need to arrange them from highest to lowest. Kasi non-parametric na tayo eh. Hindi mo na siya titingnan as interval ratio. Ordinal na. Ranking na. Nagkakaluhan tayo, guys? Okay? So again, ang ordinal natin dito, mental health. Ang tanong, sir, pwede ba natin gawing ordinal ang mental health? Oo naman. Paano? Based on their score. So kung sino yung pinakamataas na score, siya yung number 1. Sino yung susunod? Siya yung number 2. 3, 4, 5 hanggang 10 or 15. Okay po. Ayun. Next naman, is punta naman tayo dito kay independent t-test. Si independent t-test, we're gonna compare ilan? Ang independent variable mo ay consist of 2 categorical, pero again, ang groups mo hindi na independent, but rather they are what? Hindi na sila dependent, but rather they are independent groups. Meaning, ang dalawang grupo na kukunin mo ay totally unrelated from one another. Okay? At ang dependent variable mo, how many independent variable? 1. What type of scale of measurement? Interval or ratio. Okay? So, I hope guys nagkakaunawaan tayo Okay? So, ano ba yung type ng experiment nyo? Let's say, for example, you have your control group and you have your experimental group. Can you follow? Di ba dalawang unrelated groups yun? Magkaiba si control group sa experimental group. Iba yung intervention na binigay nyo kay control group. Di ba? Mas shorter ang mga binigay ng intervention or activity. Pero pagdating kay experimental group, kompleto yung sessions. Okay? And they are totally related. So, involve what? The t-test dependent. Di ba? Oh, kagaya nung nakaraan. Kanino bang research yun? Yung ghosting. Di ba? Yung control group nyo, isang session. Yung experimental group nyo, ilang session? Hindi ko na matandaan. 4 yata or 5. Okay? Tapos, ang ang dependent variable nila ay nakalimutan ko na rin. Ano bang dependent variable nyo? Okay, nakalimutan ko na, sorry. So, dami ng mga variables at mga layer experiences sa ulo ko. Nakalimutan ko na yung mga, ano nyo, yung mga study nyo. Now, okay, sige. Let's have a hypothetical dependent variable. Let's say your hypothetical dependent variable has something to do with self-worth. Okay? Yun. So, yung self-worth, yung level of self-worth, yun yung interval ratio. That's your dependent variable. So, if that is the kind of your study, again, ano yun? Independent t-test ang gagamitin. Again, the data set should be parametric. Should be normally distributed. You observe the normal distribution of your data set, or at the same time, your participants is many. Ayan, may mga nagle-left na mga parang medyo kumaunti na yung mga uma-attend. Miss Allen Luis Santos, can you please check the attendance ng lahat ng tawag dito, makaka-complete ng attendance hanggang mamaya. Okay? Yun. Bigyan natin ng plus points yung makakatapos ng session natin from 1 p.m. hanggang matapos tayo. Okay ba yun, Miss Allen? Nag-thumbs up ba siya? Okay. Hindi ko na, hindi ko makita. Okay. Yan. Okay. Um, Tama ba ako na wala namang kayong conflict sa ibang klase, ah? Tama ba? A, B, and C? Kasi ang A, sila talaga ang klase ko ng Sabado. Ang B, alam ko wala naman silang klase. Yung C, may klase sila ngayon pero nagkasakit si Ma'am Noemi. So totally wala din silang klase ngayon. So I'm expecting na lahat kayo will be attending this. Okay? And kasi importante to, okay? Ayan. Baka mamaya ano kayo, okay? Yan. So, bibigyan natin plus points lahat nung makakatapos nung webinar natin. Okay po? Ayan. Next naman is let's proceed here sa man-written. Again, pag non-parametric, hindi independent data ang gagamitin nyo. Ang gagamitin nyo nun ay man-Whitney U-test. So ano sa man-Whitney U-test? Ganun din. Kagaya lang ni independent t-test. Pero ang pinagkaiba nila ulit, ito, yung dependent variable. Kasi yung dependent variable ng independent t-test ay interval or ratio. While yung tawag dito, independent variable ni Man-Whitney, hindi na siya interval ratio. Ordinal siya. Yun lang yung pinagkaiba. Kasi nga, non-parametric ang mga ordinal test. Can you follow? So, again, paano yun? Okay? Let's say, for example, ay ganun, may medical physics po kaming 2B ngayong Saturday, sir. Nasa klase po yung PM session. Okay. So sa medical physics nyo, na kay ma'am, I forgot the name. Sinong teacher nyo sa medical physics nyo? Sa 2B? Okay, sige. Type nyo na lang later. Okay? Ayan. Basta Miss Allen, pakikuha pa rin yung ano yung mga makakatapos ng session. Okay? Ayun, si Ma'am Rosette. Okay, si Ma'am Rosette. Ayan. So, kalahati sa kanila, nasa klase ni Ma'am Rosette. Okay? Ayan. Sige, iti-take ko to into consideration. Pero, yung mga wala naman talagang klase, okay, yun yung possibly na na tawag dito, na hindi exempted pagdating sa ating attendance. Okay? Ayan. Okay. So again, sa Mann-Whitney U-test, again ang independent variable natin ay, okay, we have our two categorical groups or group. Okay, we have the control group, tsaka experimental group. Or ang independent variable natin dito ay may kinalaman sa um, ghosting, ano ba, psychoeducation. Kumari, yun yung pangalan ng activity or program natin. Tapos, nakategorize siya sa dalawang grupo, yung control group, tsaka the experimental group. Again, yung control group, isang session lang, yung yung experimental group, kompleto yung session. At yung ordinal or yung dependent variable natin dito ay yung self-worth. Again, sir, yung self-worth ba pwede din natin siyang gawing ordinal? Yes, pwede natin siyang gawing ordinal. Paano ulit? Babasihan lang natin yung test scores nila. Okay, at i-arrange siya from highest to lowest. So, naging ordinal na siya. But again, pag gagamit ka ng SPSS, kailangan mo ba siyang i-arrange ng highest to lowest? Hindi na. Yung application na yung bahala. Okay? So, dumadali yung trabaho natin. So, again, that's the difference. Independent t-test tsaka Mann-Whitney u-test, same lang siya ng function. Ang difference lang is si independent t-test parametric, si Mann-Whitney u-test, okay, non-parametric, at ang ginagamit niyang dependent variable ay hindi interval ratio but rather ordinal. Okay? I hope you are clear with that. Next is, punta naman tayo kay one-way ANOVA. Oh, may counterpart din siya. Again, parametric, one-way ANOVA. Non-parametric, Kruskal-Wallis test. Okay? Oh, guys, ito yung mga bagay na dapat hindi nyo kinakalimutan kasi hanggang fourth year, may encounter nyo to. Okay? Walang pass dito. Kailangan ito matatandaan nyo hanggang fourth year or hanggang board exam. Kasi possibly, lumalabas po ito. Okay? Okay, let's have an example. One-way ANOVA, you have one independent variable, pero you have what? Three groups. Okay? You have three levels. Okay? At yung dependent variable mo, you only have one. Okay? And at the scale of measurement is interval ratio. Okay, let's have an example. Let's say, for example, is that ang independent variable mo ay types of teaching method. Can you follow? Types of teaching method. Tapos, yung types of teaching method, isa lang yun na independent variable. Pero yung category niya, yung levels niya, ilan? Tatlo. Kasi kay T-test, dalawa lang. Pero kay one-way ANOVA, it should be three or more. Okay? Ano-ano ba yung types ng teaching methodology? Yung isa, face-to-face. Yung pangalawa, um, synchronous. Yung yung pangatlo, sorry, asynchronous. So, ilang levels yun? Ilang grupo yun? Tatlo. Una, yung mga estudyante na sa face-to-face. Pangalawa, yung mga estudyante na nasa synchronous. Yung pangatlo, yung mga estudyante na nasa asynchronous. Ano yung dependent variable natin? Ang dependent variable natin ay, ano, pwede natin sabihin performance. Or class performance na nami-measure ng test, or midterm, or finals. Can you follow? If that is the type, or if that is the nature of research, then okay, you're going to navigate or you're going to utilize the one-way ANOVA. So again, it should be parametric. Okay? Next, the counterpart is Kruskal-Wallis. O sige, let's use the same example. Ganon din. Ang independent variable mo, types of teaching methodology. Ang dependent variable mo, test performance. Pero again, ang sinasabi kay Kruskal-Wallis, kailangan ordinal ang dependent variable mo. The question is, again, ang test performance ba? Pwede ba natin siyang gawing ordinal? Yes or no? Yes. Okay? Paano mo gagawing ordinal yun? E di yung test scores nila, pag sunod-sunodin mo lang from highest to lowest. Di ba ganun tayo minsan nung elementary tayo, yung teacher natin, bago niya ibinigay yung ating test scores, ina-arrange na from highest to lowest. And it becomes what? Ordinal. Okay? Ayan. So, ganun din dito. Okay? Ayan. So, again, one-way ANOVA, tsaka Kruskal-Wallis, ang independent variable nila, isa, pero ang categories or groups or yung levels nila, ilan? Tatlo. Si t-test, ilang independent variable? Isa, pero yung levels or group nila, dalawa lang. Okay? Paulit-ulit ako para kung silang plaka, para yung retention mas matagal. Okay po? Yan. And then last, hindi pala last, marami pa pala. Okay, kaya to. Two-way ANOVA. Dito sa two-way ANOVA naman, or also known as interaction effect. Ilan daw ang independent variable ni two-way ANOVA? From the word itself, two-way ANOVA. Okay? Ilan ang independent variable? Dalawa. Ilan ang dependent variable? Isa. Si one-way ANOVA, isang independent variable, isang dependent variable. Pero si two-way ANOVA, it becomes complex. Bakit? Kasi ang independent variable niya, dalawa. Tapos, each independent variable, meron siyang two or more categories or levels. Can you follow? Nagkakanuan ba tayo? Okay? Sige. Let's have an example. Okay. Paano ba? Kilala niyo si Heath Ledger. Okay. Heath Ledger is one of my favorite actors of all time. Siya yung gumanap ng Joker, di ba? Siya yung gumanap na Joker dun sa The Dark Knight, di ba? Ang galing niya dun. Okay. Ang cause of death ni Heath Ledger ay um, because of different substance. Okay? Namatay siya kasi um, nag anti nag-anxiolytic siya. Tapos nag-ano pa siya, antidepressant. Hindi lang 'yan, may iba pa siyang meds na ininom. Okay? And because of that, ayun, namatay siya. Okay? So, pwede ba natin gawing study yun? Pwede natin gawin yan. And at the same time, during that time, maraming pinagdadaanan si Heath Ledger. Okay? Naghiwalay sila ng partner niya, tapos nagkaroon sila ng anak, pero yung custody ng anak niya, nagkaroon ng difficulty. So, yun yung mga naging problema niya that time. Okay? So, ano yung pwede natin gawing research? Okay, ito. Number one, meron tayong unang independent variable. Ang unang independent variable na pwede natin i-consider ay ano? Yung drugs intake. Drug intake. Okay? Sir, ano yung mga levels or groups na pwede natin gawin doon sa drug intake? Pwede natin ilagay anxiolytic or yung mga meds para ma-normalize natin ang anxiety, or another is depressant or antidepressant. Iyon yung two categories or two levels. Okay? Again, ang pangalan ng independent variable na yan ay drug intake. Ang kanyang levels or category, dalawa. Anxiolytic, antidepressant. Gets? Okay? Kaso, sa two-way ANOVA, dalawa ang independent variable na hinihingi. Ano pa yung isang independent variable? The other independent variable is, okay, pwede nating sabihin is um, level or separation. Okay? Saan siya na-separate? Okay? Let's say, for example, ang separation ay, ang tawag dito, sa asawa. That's the first level. And another level is separation sa anak. Okay? Qualified na ba tayo? Yes, qualified na tayo kasi ang ating independent variable, dalawa na, tapos each variables natin may two levels or above. At ang dependent variable natin, ilan daw? Isa. And it should be interval ratio. Ano yung pwedeng gawin nating dependent variable? Pwede natin gawin dependent variable, sorry, is mental health. Sir, pwede ba maging interval ratio ang mental health? Oo naman, paano? O hanap ka ng mental health questionnaire. Di ba? It becomes independent or interval ratio in terms of your dependent variable. So pag ang study mo ay ganun, tas non-parametric, yun. Two-way ANOVA ang gagamitin mo. Okay? Now, yung case ni Heath Ledger, ano lang yan ginawa nating parang case siya. Case lang siya. Pero kung titingnan natin, kung ang magiging participant mo ay mga madami, let's say for example, mga may inclination mag-drugs, yung mga nag-intake ng drugs, sila yung mga participants mo. Let's say for example, your participants are 75, tapos mga nagda-drugs sila, nag-anxiolytic, tsaka nag-antidepressant. Okay? Tapos nakaranas sila ng separation sa asawa tsaka sa anak. Yun. Perfect yun for two-way ANOVA. Okay pa? Meron bang gumamit sa inyo na dalawa ang inyong independent variable? Sorry, you cannot raise your hand. Kindly message that in the chat box. Meron ba? Okay. So kung wala, okay. Ayan. Next naman is we have the one-way MANOVA. Okay. Ito si one-way MANOVA, no? Ang ANOVA, analysis of variance. Okay? So usually, ang ina-analyze mo lang yung dependent variable mo kasi di ba ang dependent variable mo sa analysis of variance isa. Pero here, pag sinabi nating MANOVA, multiple analysis of variance kasi usually okay? Kasi here, ang wait lang guys, may tumatawag. Ayan. So, pasensya na, may tumawag pa kayo. Ayan. Saan na tayo? Okay. Dito na tayo sa MANOVA. One-way MANOVA. Now, whereas when we talk about MANOVA, multiple analysis of variance. So, dito we're analyzing multiple dependent variables. Okay? Again, guys, pag may tanong chat agad para ma-resolve natin right away. So, si one-way MANOVA, ang independent variable niya, isa. Okay? Pero ang levels niya or independent groups niya, two or more. Pero ang dependent variable niya or dependent variable rather is two or more. Na dapat interval ratio. Can you follow? Sige, mag-isip tayo ng example ng one-way MANOVA. Ang pwede natin example ng one-way MANOVA is, let's say for example, ang independent mo ay, sige, ang pwede nating gawin ay, let's say for example, mindfulness. Okay? Tapos meron kang control group, tsaka experimental group. Tapos ang mindfulness program mo na ito, for the experimental group, ay 3 buwan. Pero sa control group mo, isang session lang. Okay? Now, punta tayo sa dependent variable. Sir, ano yung pwede mong dependent variable dyan? Diba sabi, 2, tapos interval ratio. Okay? So, ang unang dependent variable mo ay ano? Number 1, level of concentration, and the number 2, level of mental health. So, naka-apekto ba si mindfulness sa mental health tsaka level of concentration? Pag gano'n ang research mo, ang gagawin mo or ang gagamitin mo ay one-way ANOVA or one-way MANOVA. So once again, one-way MANOVA is not non-parametric, but rather one-way MANOVA is parametric. Okay po? Next is two-way MANOVA. Okay? Kay two-way MANOVA, ayun lang yun. 2 ang independent variable nyo with 2 or more categories or levels at ang dependent variable nyo rin ay marami or 2 or 2 or more. Can you follow? So, din na to kasi ang dami mong independent variable, marami ka ding dependent variables. Okay? Ayan. Okay, sige, magbigay tayo ng maikli example. Let's say, for example, ang 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 independent variable mo is number 1, types of psychotherapy. Okay, kailangan may 2 or more levels daw siya. Ano yung types of psychotherapy? Pwedeng reality therapy tsaka CB. Okay? Tapos next naman, another independent variable is social support. Okay? O ano yung categories ng social support natin? Pwedeng family, pwedeng friends, or pwedeng colleagues. 3. Okay? So again, ilan ang independent variable natin? 2. Okay, the first one is psychotherapy. Ang 2 level ng psychotherapy ay CBT, reality therapy. And then another independent variable is social support. At ang levels niya, ilan? 3. What are they? Okay, family, friends, and colleagues. Next, ang dependent variable daw natin, kailangan 2 din. So ano yung pwede natin gawing dependent variable na interval ratio in nature? Number 1 is level of mental health. Number 2 is level of happiness. Okay? Pwede ba yun? Yes. Nakita niyo, di ba? Sobrang komplikado na. 2 na yung independent variable mo. 2 pa independent variable mo. So if that is the type or the nature of your research, then you're about to utilize that two-way MANOVA. Okay po? Yun. And finally, eto, bago tayo pumunta sa SPSS, ANCOVA. Si ANCOVA, okay, ano to? Analysis of covariance. Again, ANOVA, analysis of variance. MANOVA, multiple analysis of variance. ANCOVA, analysis of covariance. From the word itself, meron kang covariance or covariate. Pag sinabi natin covariate, in a way, it elaborates or it tends to affect the dependent variable. So it's another variable that tends to have an impact to your dependent variable. Okay? Sige. Let's say, for example, ang independent variable natin isa. Okay? Ang dependent variable natin isa. Pero, ang dependent variable, kailangan meron siyang associated na covariate. Okay? Yun. So, let's have an example. Ito. Ang independent variable natin, salary. Can you follow? Salary. Ang dependent variable natin is job satisfaction. Can you follow? Now, ano yung possible na na na-covariate natin between salary and at the same time job satisfaction? Di ba minsan sa job satisfaction, minsan hindi naman yung sahod ang mahalaga, di ba? Minsan, ano, work environment, di ba? So yung work environment, iyon yung covariate that tends to elaborate or tends to have an impact with your dependent variable. So if that is your type or nature of research, then you're going to utilize ANCOVA. Can you follow? Ayun. So again, guys, we're going to have a short break as I set up my other laptop in the navigation of SPSS. Okay po? Ayun. By the way, do you have any questions or query? Okay, kung wala, okay, I guess I'm going to end the discussion here. I mean, for our discussion on statistics, ang susunod na is yung SPSS. Okay po? Ayan. So I do hope na yung nagre-record, sana malinaw yung pagre-record natin, ha? But especially the audio. Okay? Ayan.